Hello friends, this is Sukhwant Singh. Many a times we try to do our best with all our good intentions. We put in hard work, but then the results are not as per our expectations. We want to be appreciated, but instead of being appreciated, people criticize our work. What happens? We feel bad, and at times we even become depressed. It is essential to take the feedback of people we work for so that we can have an introspection and then try to do things in a better way for them. I'm reminded of a short story to make my point. Once there was a king. He was a good king at heart, wanted to do his best for the people of his kingdom, so he spent a lot of money in building up the infrastructure for his people. He provided good roads, good facilities, good schooling, good health treatment. So one fine day, he wanted to get the feedback. So he disguised himself into a normal farmer and moved around. To his surprise and disappointment, he came across a group of people whom he heard talking not in very good terms for the king. He went and sat with them for a while and overheard what they were saying. One of them was saying that, well, our king is not a very competitive king. He doesn't have confidence. So he spends so much of money from the treasure, and he is doing all these things just to win the goodwill of the people, just to cover up his incompetency. Instead of spending the amount from the royal treasure, the king should spend time and efforts in improving the kingdom in so many other ways. They didn't have much idea, but still they were not very pleased, and rather they had various irrelevant suggestions. Now what happened to the king? The king was a bit sensitive person. He went to another corner, sat there and cried. While he was crying, he heard a lady's voice from behind, which was very comforting. She said, "What happened, my child? Why are you crying? Can I do something for you?" The king turned towards that lady. She looked very old, and he said, "Well, my dear granny, this is what I'm crying for. I'm not the farmer that you are seeing. I'm the king of this place, and this is what happened to me. This bad experience that I came across, that is making me cry." And the old lady, she laughed at it and said, "Is it so? I have a good solution for that, which I can give it to you." Somehow the king had developed some faith in this lady, and he wanted to hear that solution. He was eager. He said, "Please tell me the solution. How can I come out of this situation? How can I make my people happy?" And the lady said, "Well, first of all, I'm a bit uncomfortable. You have to make me comfortable. At this age, I want comfort. Only after that I can tell you the secret." Of course, he was the king, so he took her to the palace and gave her 2 attendants, made her very comfortable, and said, "Whatever you ask for, Granny, but do let me have the solution. The lady said, well, we meet tomorrow then. Next day when the king went to the lady, the old lady, she was again in some complaints. The king asked, how was the night? How did the two attendants look after you properly? The lady said, well, they are looking after me, but I'm not liking this rest that you have given me. Give me some work which is suitable to my age. Now the king could not think of anything else because she was too old. Still he said, okay, you go on. The task that I give you is to walk around the garden. Walk around it, and that is your task. She went to the garden, kept walking there, and after a couple of hours the king again approached her and said, how are you now? Can you give me the solution? And the granny looked annoyed and said, well, I'm walking around this garden, but the bees are troubling my ears. I am getting annoyed with these bees. Do something about it. The king again took her into the palace and put her into the most comfortable place and said, now you give me some solution. She said, no, you come the next day. And like that, a week or two passed by. Each time the king approached her, she expressed some or other complaint, and she was not giving away the solution. And the king told her finally that, see, you are a very annoying lady. I am not able to satisfy you. Let me go and find out my solution on my own. The moment he said that, the old lady said, well, this is what I wanted you to reach at. And the king stood there spellbound and understood what the lady had to teach him. Ultimately, it comes to our own self. We should know what we are doing. She conveyed to him that whatever good you do, it's good to take feedback, but it's also important to know what you are doing, to find your own solutions. If your conscience is telling you that whatever you have been doing is good, go ahead and do it. People will talk about whether you are doing good or bad. Even if you do good, people will criticize you. So you need to accept that. Take a long, deep breath. And then continue doing whatever good you want to. Thank you so much for watching.